My immediate inclination is to be like, man, dude, I'm gonna get copyright striked for
You're good. You're good.
Welcome, everybody. It's the morning show. Ooh.
I can't pretend this ain't the end. You done me wrong.
So special guest today, we've got Supa Dave, Milltown's Best, with us. Welcome, Dave. How you doing this morning?
Oh man, I'm blessed to be here. This has been a long time coming, guys. I see we are all smiling. We are all here. It is the 25th of August. Holy shit. Time is flying, guys. But thank you for having me.
That's right, man. I mean, my mom, I was just talking to my mom the other day, and she says to me, man, when you get my age, time really flies. I can't believe it. I was like, at my age, I think the same damn thing. So, yes. How you doing this morning, Kev?
I am fantastic, Danny. Long day on the road yesterday, but I'm well rested. I got a full cup of coffee, and we got Dave here. We got members in the chat already. What more could you ask for on Sunday? Except for maybe a free day off tomorrow. But other than that, we're great, baby. We're great.
I feel sorry for your lonely plant in the background there, Kev. It seems like so lonely.
It does need a friend.
Right. It has friends off camera. Yeah, the friends are a little shy. This one
it's in quarantine
has an
right
ego.
Now.
Yeah, this one wants the spotlight.
Good stuff.
Oh, so we got a lot to get into today, and yeah, as Dave said, it's a long time coming. I mean, I think that we were scheduling one. It was maybe earlier this year, back in like February or March, but we had some scheduling conflicts. Which,
yeah,
I mean, I know how that goes. As we get older here, and we're all busy, it's like some people that I try to reach out to, it is impossible to make plans with, you know what I mean? We all got our own lives and schedules and, stuff like that. So sometimes it's hard.
Back then, I think I was in a lot of controversy and stuff. So I think I might have been trying to kind of keep my head down and try to stay out of trouble at the time.
I feel that we've got that sometimes, right, Kev?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All righty. Well, it is nice to see everybody this morning. We got a lot to get to. Talking to Dave about some of the stuff that he's getting into lately. We've got juggalos. We've got backyard wrestling. We've got puppets. Dun, dun, dun. Even Logan Paul and some commentary shit talk if we get there. You know what I mean? We got a lot of things to cover. So
it's like a buffet.
I do be eating at the buffet too.
Look at me. I think that's clear that I like a buffet.
Dave, you just gave me my afternoon plans. Okay. All right. Buffets it is.
Well, do they do that anymore? I feel like it is impossible to find a buffet. All of the what's the Hillbilly staple? The Thanksgiving one. It's shoot, I can't think of hometown buffet or something like that we have around.
We got Golden Corral. Those are still
Golden
around.
Corral.
Rest in peace to Ryan's and Ponderosa. I think there's more. Cece's Pizza.
Cece's Pizza. I've tried that once. That was like the $5 buffet joint, right?
Yeah.
And they got mac and cheese pizza there is what I
it had I think
I tried it once.
Yeah, it's like a cinnamon pizza.
$5 buffet though. That's makes you wonder.
Well, we would hit that in high school. After we'd go to the movies and then go to a Cece's Pizza afterwards for that $5 holla. And man, they would be on one to make sure everyone had their receipt at the front. Because we'd come in a large crowd of, troublemaking teenagers. And so once we all sit down and we start eating, they're like, receipts, every one of you, fork them over.
Wow.
Oh,
you could never go wrong with the new China buffet. We got that here in Wisconsin, and the new China buffet. Classy joint. You know what I'm saying? You can get chopsticks or a fork. They do it right there.
Leave it to three chubby guys to start out the show with buffet talk.
Shows you where our mind is.
It's the Clout Route brunch show, as Headbug.
There
said
you go.
before. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well,
Next time we'll do a mukbang.
No, I'm down.
we'll have to fly out one of these days,
sure.
Dave, and we'll do a mukbang in my little office here.
Avocado ain't got shit on me.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, let's get into it. Okay. Supa Dave, Milltown's best. Dave, what's the origination? Is that a word? What's the origin of Milltown's best? I usually ask people who come on the show, like Badwick. I tried to get him to explain to me what his name meant. I can't even remember now. It was something. But yeah, Milltown's best. What do we got here?
So I was a young kid. I was really into making videos. And this was right when digital media was just becoming a thing. You know, I had something called like a DVC-80, which would make digital video out of your old analog footage. So my mom and dad were always very supportive of me wanting to be a video maker. So they made sure I had all this stuff. And I used to film backyard wrestling and make these little short videos. And my dad was like, you need a production company. You need a production company. So I called myself Inner Weakness Productions, and because making videos was my inner weakness. I thought I was so clever. I thought I was so clever.
We all do at that age, right?
Yeah. And then my dad was like, whatever, this kid's a dork. And then as I got more and more involved in pro wrestling and I transitioned out of the backyard and then started doing some training and then started getting some actual production gigs filming independent professional wrestling here in Milwaukee, I started putting out my videos under Inner Weakness, and it just didn't fit for professional wrestling. And there was nobody else in the Milwaukee area that was producing wrestling content. So I said, Milltown's best, Milwaukee's best. Milltown is the nickname that locals call Milwaukee. We're known as Milltown. So Milltown's best.
Okay.
I was Milwaukee's best, wrestling at the time. So the tagline used to be Milltown's best, we know wrestling. Then when I started transitioning into commentary, I had already had a channel with, maybe 175 or 200 subscribers. So I just started building off that. And during that time, I lost almost all of my wrestling fan base. There's still a couple originals that still hung out with me because they liked me at the time. But I just kept the Milltown's best name. And now Milltown is essentially what people call, they either call me Supa Dave or Milltown. And I like it.
I like it too. Not too bad. I didn't know that Milltown was what they call Milwaukee. Okay.
Yeah. There's Chirac, which is Chicago. And then we got Milltown, which is Milwaukee.
Do we have one for Columbus, Kevin? Is there a
The bus.
That's
great.
stupid.
Mm-hmm. C bus. They sell shirts of it. It's just a letter C and then a stencil of a public transit. It's great.
That's the only thing we have going on here, actually, is the bus. Oh, but that's sweet. Okay, so there's some Milltown's best origins there. We'll get back
no one's
to
never asked me that before.
Oh, interesting.
I love the wrestling origin, by the way, Dave. I've heard this before. I know we've maybe chatted about it briefly, but we share that love of some pro wrestling. So that is cool. I didn't know about that part of your career. That's great.
It all started from I had a backyard wrestling promotion, and I always had an ego, I guess, and I used to post my backyard wrestling videos in MAW, Mid-American Wrestling, which is back in the day, it was like the top dog independent wrestling promotion in all of the Midwest. They actually essentially started deathmatch wrestling in the Midwest with Carmine DeSpirito. And I used to post my backyard wrestling videos in his forum. And that got the attention of a bunch of promoters, and they were like, stop that bullshit in the backyard. You're making it look bad. What do you want out of this? So I fell victim to the sales pitch, and that ended up with, training. And then I was bargaining, learning the business for, filming wrestling shows and doing DVDs. And it was an interesting time. My parents, I was under 18 at the time, and they were just so interested in my production quality at the time. The promoter I worked with, Frank DeFalco, back then actually had a meeting with my parents, and we worked everything out. And I was, at that time I wasn't wrestling, I was just filming for him, and I ran his website, the Brew City Wrestling website. And
wow.
I wanted to learn the wrestling business. It's not like I wanted to be a wrestler, but I had a couple matches. You guys have seen some of my early stuff, and it's just turned out the in-ring stuff not for me. There's a local wrestler here. His name's Dysfunction. He wrestles for the Insane Clown Posse as the Weed Man, and he was actually my first ever professional match, and he beat the dog shit out of me. Shoot, like he beat the shit out of me, to the point where he rammed his knee, like he put me in the corner, rammed his knees in my face like 7 or 8 times, knocked me loopy. I think I only got the first 2 spots in that match right, before I lost it. I was just, you ever have it where you get your ass beat so bad you just black out?
I haven't personally.
Yeah, no, that's what happened to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, been there, Dave.
And then when it's all said and done, the proper thing to do is you got to go shake the man's hand and thank him for it. So I essentially had to shake the man's hand. Thank you for beating the shit out of me and embarrassing me, because I was a chubby little kid. And I came to the ring wearing a t-shirt, and that's a no-no. Especially, these wrestlers take their physiques very seriously. They take you wanting to join the business very seriously. So I come out, wearing a white t-shirt. Dysfunction ripped that shirt off of me, exposed my big man boobs and everything to the crowd, then chopped the piss out of me. I mean, my chest was just, he made an example out of me. And ever since then, I was like, I'll just stay behind the camera. And then I did that for about, 10 years, that's my story.
Did you ever perform like that, Kevin? I know that you're into all the wrestling stuff, but did you go out there and fucking slap some titties and rip some shirts?
No,
Man,
no.
Good morning, people. Sorry.
That is not my role. I'm actually about to get involved in some production here in a local Ohio situation, but I'm just going to be the play-by-play commentary with the potential. Yeah, which is what my favorite. Yeah, my favorite part too. And so there's been some talk of maybe doing like a manager thing, maybe doing some microphone work, but nothing beyond that, Danny.
It starts like that, Kev. It starts like that. Then they're like, just take this one bump. And then the next thing you know, you're the manager that's booked in an angle with a female wrestler, and then they'll ease you in that way. You're only working against a female, and then next thing you know, you got bit by the bug, and you're Kev the Master Destroyer.
Oh goodness. I mean, yeah, like shoot, I was gonna I have a whole segment for the wrestling thing, but I feel like we're there, so let's just get into it, okay? Sure. Because that is a fun aspect that I knew Kevin and Dave shared in common.
Hey, Fubar.
Thing. And I'm like loose. I obviously grew up on my stepdad watching, WWE and stuff, so I'm no stranger to the whole wrestling and the fun there.
Wrestling, believe it or not, it's very popular. A lot of people, they say it's like for simpletons, but if you get past the fact that it's fake, you can really, it's an art form. It truly is. Professional wrestling is an art form. It's, you can equate it to ballroom dance. You can equate it to a lot of different things. Even exotic dance. A lot of people are like, that's nothing, but to them ladies, that's an art form. There's a certain way about doing it, and they have their own mannerisms and what's considered. So the more and more you get into it, it's especially like race cars the same way. It's like, what kind of complexity is there in driving in a circle around and around and around? It's like there's much more to it than just pressing the gas and going around and around. So once you get past the fake aspect and you can zone in on the performances that these performers are giving, it really becomes interesting, and it's, you know, very popular.
Yeah, I mean,
especially now.
Yeah,
It's gotten
Well-
hot again.
well,
Yeah, with
Kevin, I
AEW
mean,
especially.
that's like part of, I mean, right? Like, I think part of your venture there with all of your bite-sized sports and whatnot, and then, you know, even beyond that, it's probably a good thing that wrestling and all that stuff is like becoming more popular and people are getting more into it, right?
Oh yeah, definitely helps out. That's what will feed the regional scene. I mean, I see it a lot with Carnage Media too. You know, just in the even in the shoot fight stuff. You know, all of a sudden,
Yeah.
a couple of bare knuckle fights get over big down in Florida. Now all of a sudden, a lot of people are trying to do bare knuckle. It's just sort of, and then that just creates a lot more opportunities for everybody. So it has a lot of there are a lot of similarities that I'm learning when you're part of the regional combat sports scene. It's very similar to what working in a wrestling territory would have been like back in
Very
the
much
day.
so.
'Cause
Very much so.
you're dealing with all these different independent promoters, and they all have different ways of doing business. Some of them much more professional than others. Others are running you changes last minute. You're like, dude, we are about to go live. I cannot, like, it's too late.
Yeah.
The ship has sailed, all kinds of stuff.
But
But I tell you
True.
what, it prepares you. Like, I have learned so much. I feel confident in almost any setting because what else could happen that hasn't happened to me at a live combat show
Yeah.
or in a wrestling show for Dave?
So my prelude here to get
Quick
into
shout
this.
out. Sorry, but
thank
we
you,
have
Mama
a super
Creepy.
chat. Thank you, Mama Creepy, so much.
Can we talk about how awesome Mama Creepy is? You know, everybody's gonna hate on me for saying this. I know that controversial
Oh,
figurehead, but Mama Creepy has been with me by my side since damn near day one when I was spamming my videos on Deaf Noodles Reddit page. I mean, I was spamming my videos, my crummy, horrible commentary videos in any server I could get in. I was getting banned from Reddit pages left and right for spamming, and I was doing whatever I could take to get my videos out there. And Mama Creepy has been with me since then, and I'm glad to see her videos are starting to take off.
Oh, heck
And
yeah.
Tara's a real one, and I'm very proud of her.
She's a real one. Yeah, she's been around watching the Clout route for a while too, and included us in some of her videos. So shouts out. Thank you for that dono, Mama Creepy. I know that she's been looking forward to this episode of the show. But yeah, what I was gonna lead into this whole backyard wrestling conversation I wanted to have with you, Dave. Me and Kevin just on the show, you know, over the last week or two, we looked at the most recent gathering of the Juggalos here in Ohio.
Okay.
Which, I mean, one of these days we'll get up off of our asses and go to that Thornton, Ohio.
I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah, we'll have to invite Dave to go with us. That'll
I'm
be some
down.
good coverage.
I'll paint up and everything.
Hell yeah, brother.
Let's go.
And we saw a lot of goofy stuff there, but we saw that this guy that we've talked about on the show before, Superhuman, was there
boy.
at the gathering of the Juggalos. And then you know, we've watched some of his videos, obviously, and
He's a
everything.
superstar.
He is a superstar. His style of video definitely makes me think of like a backyard wrestling to begin
And the fact
with.
that his parents are the ones who film him, it amazes me.
No
you know,
way.
And his dad is the one, you know, that platform his dad built him his little jumping platform and everything.
Okay.
So his parents are fully behind him doing this, you know, and I think they have a hand in his merchandise and everything. Pretty interesting.
How old is the guy?
He's in his late 20s, I believe.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, having you got the family helping you grow the whole thing too. I mean, he does pretty well here when he's flying elbow drop onto some thumbtack table.
I love that he has an action figure. That is breaking
Oh,
news
yeah.
to me. That's amazing.
Oh wow, check that out. Here, let me see if I can find him checking
He's
this
always wearing
out.
Juggalo gear.
He is wearing Juggalo gear. It doesn't look like he's has any pictures in this video here, but you can see there on that thumbnail.
That is great.
He does it for the Juggalos and the Juggalettes. We mustn't forget that.
That's true. That's true. So you said you're familiar with Superhuman. His family films his videos there, huh? Do you know anything else? Is there anything else we should know about the Superhuman?
Well, I know he's been dabbling in a lot of independent wrestling promotions. He actually
That makes
did
sense.
he did a few indie dates, and I'm real close with, like I said, we spoke about that guy that I had my first professional wrestling match with. His name's Dysfunction, and he runs a promotion here in Milwaukee called ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling. And they're like a death match. Well, they do a lot of stuff, but lately they're known for their death matches, and they run the Insane 8 tournament every year. And I know that Dysfunction was trying really, really hard to get Superhuman to show up, but I guess he's very selective. And I think he deals with a lot of like social anxiety and everything. So he's very selective about what he does, but he has done a few independent dates, and he really likes the wrestling business, and he shows it the proper amount of respect, and he seems to be making friends in all the right places. So kudos to Superhuman. I'd love to do an interview with him if possible.
Right? I think that he would be a very interesting guy to
Hey, Cindy.
talk shop with for sure. Here, let's watch one of his. Now, I did put in the doc today. Here's a little taste of Superhuman. Trigger warning, because there's a couple,
Yes.
you know,
He is very
F-bombs,
bold. He's very bold.
and he definitely is slamming his body at full force into well, here it's Legos and a dishwasher. So just a
Premier
warning.
peak content.
But let's check this out. Let's get ourselves warmed up for some real backyard wrestling action.
I'm
okay?
hyped. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's check this out.
This is Superhuman TV show. Today I'll be jumping onto Lego.
Love this guy.
Dishwasher. This is for the juggalos and juggalettes. Do not try this at home. I hope you like it. Woo, woo.
I do like it, sir.
Fuck this shit. Woo, woo.
Oh. And with that, a star is born.
He definitely knows how to well, I mean, not saying that Legos
He's
on
selling.
top of a dishwasher right wouldn't hurt, but
He
he's
puts it on.
definitely playing it up there.
And he
He's a
does it
pro.
the same in every video too. You know, he'll get a good 3 ow, ow, and then he'll get a oh, you know, and then it'll just cut. You know,
The Juggalos and the Juggalettes sure love that shit, don't they?
he does it for them every single. They love it. They eat it up.
I
With
can't
a
even
cup of
step on a
Faygo.
Lego. Oh my god, that was
I
brutal.
want to know when Legos became like a weapon in professional wrestling. Like back in the day, it was thumbtacks. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like we're gonna drop a bag of Legos on, you know, on the mat. It's like okay, even in the deathmatch tournaments, they're using Legos now. It's crazy.
Interesting. Maybe it has something to do with like you get a thumbtack in you, you're bleeding almost immediately. You're gonna there's no way to stop it. So at least with a Lego, it's like maybe it hurts a little less, but you're not gonna bleed, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
Everybody's
sure.
wise to sugar glass and fake tax, so they're like, "Well, we can't make sugar glass Legos, so everybody knows these things hurt for real."
Well, the thing that they like doing is that, you know, they'll use the fluorescent glass tubes that break real easy, you know, but then you're dealing with the chemicals that are in those fluorescent tubes, and when they get broke over your head, you just see this big poof of chemical smoke essentially, and
Yeah.
like that can't be good to be inhaling.
Whenever we get down and do our backyard wrestling thing, there are definitely going to be some fluorescent light bulbs. Just man,
Let's go.
I probably told it on the story before. I mean, on the show before this story. But when I was a teenager, we had like I don't know why we had a trash can full of the fluorescent light bulbs in the backyard, but we did.
Okay.
And me and my rambunctious friends, we're doing it's our whole jackass phase or whatever. So we're doing that.
I think
kind of
everybody
stuff.
had a jackass phase.
Yeah, right. And yeah, one of my buddies, of course, it's like, I feel like it's always the biggest one of your buddies. It's like the big giant of your friends. That's like, hey, you guys should like physically hurt yourself. That'd be fun.
True.
So my big giant friend of mine, he's like, hey, you should line up here and let me whack one of these over your back, And then like, well, whatever, we thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I received my whacks and then my mom's yelling from the back door, what? Hey, what's going on? Come back, get over here. What are you doing?
Oh boy.
I got to go talk
Yeah,
to Mom.
Mom, I'm trying to be cool here.
I says, we're lighting off fireworks. It's no big deal. Don't worry about it. Oh, well, be quiet. Quit your yelling or whatever. And I've got a white tank top on. Okay.
Oh no.
So I'm talking to my mom, looking at her, talking to her about it or whatever. And then I turn around and exit out the back door after I tell her it's fireworks. I walk around to my buddies and they're like, you didn't notice your shirt is just covered in blood, your whole back. And the glass had like and just cut me a bunch on the back because it was a tank top. My mom didn't notice, but I was that close to getting caught.
Oh, the things Mom should have known, eh?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have inhaled all those fumes if my mom would have caught wind of what I was doing.
For sure.
But yeah, so Superhuman gets us in the mood, okay, for some backyard wrestling.
Right.
And me and Kevin have been on this tangent for a while where I've been envisioning, like, wouldn't it be so much fun? I want to get the backyard wrestling going. Like, instead, I feel like they messed up, or at least the time has passed for Creator Clash. The boxing, between the drama and all that, I think the time has passed for that. But somebody needs to be like, okay, YouTubers, okay, Twitch streamers, you guys want to come out and, do some combat sports. Let's get a backyard wrestling with the streamers going.
But see, the backyard throws people off. You should make sure it should be a creator professional wrestling. As opposed, just take the backyard out of it, because there can always get a bingo hall, and you can always rent a ring. And that is, if you're a backyard wrestler, that a ring and a bingo hall makes you professional. It's not the training. It's not the training. It's the bingo hall and the ring. So we could just drop the backyard and we can just say we're every bit as professional as Creator Clash, but we're professional wrestlers. Okay. That's what I'd do.
We got some links in Ohio, Danny, to, got at least one venue and one ring I know about.
I could hit up I've got some connects out there. I can hit up like Billy the Fridge, get him to choke slam somebody, or, maybe I can sign up Tuesday's guest, Dalton Pruitt, comedian, to jump in the ring.
Score.
Give somebody a wedgie. I don't know.
I think there's a bunch of wrestling schools in Ohio, especially. I don't know if you guys are around like the Cleveland area, but there's a lot
south. But
okay, because I know if a lot of these indie promotions, they would jump at a chance to work with YouTubers and a show like that. And even if you just use them as extra hands, or if you do like a 20-man battle royal or something, that's. Put the trainees in there. You get free hands, and it puts some legitimacy on your actual promotion, and it gives these young kids a place to work. Just to,
there are definitely some YouTubers that I can think of that I would love to see like get pinned and and cry.
Book me against Huggy.
Yeah, well,
last man standing match.
You think Huggy would come out? I haven't seen Huggy lately. I feel like he's in hiding. He doesn't want you to challenge him.
He's been performing to an audience of 3 people.
Oh, poor guy.
I shouldn't. I posted a comment on his video today, and I was like, bro, there's so much we could do to make hashtag Huggy Bear great again. Just I'm here for you, bro. Like I'm ready to put the beef behind. I need Huggy Bear to be great again, and I feel so bad for the guy. He's streaming at the most odd hours to an audience of 0 to 3 people, and one of them is his mod, and the other 2 are his yes ladies. And it's like, come on, man. I feel bad for you, Huggy.
Well, I think I think not a lot of people really have a deep-seated, hatred or anything for all Huggy Bears. So, I think everybody low-key is rooting for the guy. So maybe he'll turn it around. Maybe he'll turn it around.
I hope so. We can only Huggy, get in touch with me. We can make this happen.
Exactly. We'll turn it around once we get Dave and Huggy in the ring.
Let's
Okay.
go. Huggy Bear, I want you.
There we go. That's a rivalry that has to be settled in a cage. Maybe a scaffold match.
Yeah, you got to contain that.
You got to contain for sure. No ring can contain that.
But as I was looking around, and Dave, you were saying you were naming some like I don't know, local productions, I guess, that do wrestling content.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was looking around, I found this Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, and this is just such the vibe for me. Like
The TBW. Oh no.
are you familiar?
No, that's usually how they usually put their initials.
Oh, right.
There it is. See on the Rampage. Uh-oh, somebody's gonna have a copyright.
Yeah, they're
issue.
gonna have some copyright issues with Rampage.
Uh-oh. Well, you saw it here first, folks.
Can we talk about how they've had 167 episodes? Can we just look at the view count, please? I need to know what the viewership of TBW looks like.
2.4K 2 weeks
Let's
ago.
go. Okay.
Okay, all right,
They got a-
TBW. All right,
They got a
TBW.
niche little audience here. I like
Do these
that.
people have? I got to know if they have a. Do they have a ring at least?
Here, check this out. I'll play some.
Well, they have
right
a
at the
general manager. I love that.
top.
I just saw that in the description.
He's the general manager, also known as the homeowner, backyard owner.
He owns the acres of land. But I mean, look, this reminds me of
That
this
is the most generic logo I have ever seen.
It's like the '90s WWE.
All right, let's count
WWF
how
too.
many of these people have ring gear. I need to know. I don't see one person here with ring gear. They got there's a shirt. I swear to God, this one guy that looked like he kind of had ring gear. No ring gear. They all wear shirts. They all are overweight. Even the referee is wearing an undershirt. No
Hey, there's a
wrestling boots.
ring.
Yeah,
there
there's
is a ring.
There's a ring, but it doesn't look very safe. Doesn't look very safe.
Oh goodness.
But look at let's count how many wrestlers have boots. I don't see one wrestler with boots. Do you guys see it? Well, there might be one.
No.
Well, look at these guys.
I've
dude.
seen
I
more
mean,
pairs of jeans than boots so far, I think.
Yeah,
Oh.
like, this is the type of stuff that will get somebody killed.
You mean pile driving someone into a trash can? Is that how they normally do it?
Training, they could easily do some training. You could get like I said, I told you there's all these training schools or whatever. It's not hard to put it. Honestly, in my opinion, it takes maybe a good 6 to 8 hours to get, kind of used to taking a bump. How many of these people this big fella to the left here, I want to see him take a flat back. Like I bet you he takes the ugliest flat back you'll ever see in your life. And by flat back, I mean when you fall flat on your back. I mean, you essentially got to learn to tuck your chin. And there's no way in hell he's gonna. They also do these drills where you gotta, your partner will go down on all fours, and you gotta put your hands on top of them and do a somersault over them, and then do a flat back. You think this big tubby fuck could do that?
Hey,
I don't think I could
tubby
do it.
fuck with love. I say that with love, but.
Sometimes these, you're surprised by how limber and loose a big old fat
Not
guy
this
can
baby
be.
face goon.
And
I bet you they got him playing a heel too, and he's got the biggest baby face. It's like psychology, folks. Sorry, I'm sorry. Backyard wrestling. I'm gonna shut up. Continue.
So Dave, have you like when you were in the ring, was it a situation similar to this? Is this what we're kind of looking at? Or were you
a
even
little more we
more
were a little
legit?
more legit. We were more
Okay.
legit. We actually took training seriously. I actually had to invest in wrestling boots. I actually had to invest in training sessions.
Okay.
Well, we didn't have the money. The promotion didn't have the money for big elaborate entrances or anything. We had microphones. We had venues. We used to have this corner lot that we would be able to rent. And while that was outdoor, we actually rented it was a lot, you know, it was an actual corner lot. And we had articles written about my promotion, the promotion I was in the papers. And that was when I was just getting serious. But then when I switched to just filming and doing strictly production, I wasn't allowed to associate with companies like this. I wasn't allowed to take bookings with companies like this. Professional wrestlers look extremely down on stuff like this. It does damage to the professional wrestling industry as a whole. There's no way that independent companies have a hard time getting insurance because of backyard wrestling companies like this that are posing as professional wrestling. At least this TBW has backyard in their name, so you know what you're getting with them. But some companies don't, and they pose, and then they'll try to get these ex-WWF stars, ex-WWE stars to come and take an independent booking. And then when they come, these WWE stars come to perform, they're working against some kid like that babyface fucker. And, you know, it's like, what can you do with that? The guy probably doesn't even know how to flat back, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, it does damage a lot of backyard. So when I started doing videography and website work, I wasn't allowed to technically associate with those types. And if you did associate with them, you had to wear a hood. So if you wanted some quote unquote ring time, you would have to wear a mask. And so keep your professional life separate from you couldn't be your character name. You would have to be a whole made up character with a mask on. And like I said, there's a whole subculture to it. You know, a lot of these indie guys don't want to be seen with backyarders because it makes you look like a backyarder, which then does damage to your pay rate. It does damage to who books you. And it's a big reputation thing. It's an ego thing, especially.
That's interesting. That makes sense. So, I mean, I just want to get in a luchador outfit and, jump from the top rope, I guess. But
you would be willing to put in, a weekend's worth of work to try to, to at least get some spots. Like even like Logan Paul. I feel like when Logan Paul first got involved in wrestling, I think his first few matches were highly choreographed. I think that he had rehearsed them several times. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, especially if you're not sure if this is what you want to do for a living. But at least he took the care to invest in doing it the falls right and making sure he didn't make an ass out of himself.
I think Kevin has really made a point as we've went through and watched some of Logan Paul's shit to say, like, the guy isn't really slacking. It seems like it's actually something he's good at for once. I mean, Logan Paul with the wrestling and then his brother, Jake Paul, with the MMA and the boxing or whatever. It's like both of them, although immature individuals you probably wouldn't want to associate with, both of them kind of have taken to the sports.
They found a spot where they fit in. Absolutely. And Logan Paul he took into the sport. They say that Kurt Angle really took to professional wrestling, how he transitioned from Olympic to professional wrestling. And I think the same could be said for Logan Paul, how he took to it so quick and he's adapting. And now he's doing things in that ring that nobody has ever done before, So it's cool to see somebody just kind of dip their toe in and discover their love for it and kind of just go full force with it.
Yeah, for sure. Kevin, thoughts on
Bruce?
Thoughts on Logan Paul does he hold a belt? Is he a legit WWE
I haven't been keeping up with WWE lately, but last I heard he had a belt. He was the US champion. I don't know if he still is or not.
He lost it at SummerSlam in Cleveland. Did the job to LA Knight, the former Eli
We talk about
Drake.
LA Knight's
Yeah.
LA Knight's been around for a while. He's done some serious work. The man took a lot of pages from The Rock's book. He was actually on one of The Rock's early TBS reality shows. LA Knight's been around for a long time. He got a lot of potential, that kid. That guy. He's older than me, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. He's what, 39 or something?
Yeah, he's
and
an older guy.
Finally getting his push. So, yeah, as much as I hate Logan Paul, wouldn't you know it, he's a natural villain. He's a natural heel, as they say. And I think it just his personal life and scams and all that stuff, the more people learned about that, the more it made it just easy to boo him. So he was able to lean into it. But yeah, he does.
It adds
He does
legitimacy
good
to
work.
his character. Yeah, adds legitimacy to him, and that's what the wrestling business is missing these days, in my opinion. It's missing legitimate heels, real bad guys that you are like, man, that guy fucking, I hate that guy. You know, back in the day when kayfabe was still kayfabe, you know, you would see these people and be like, that guy, I really hate him. And that's been gone for so long since the curtain has been pulled back. But I feel like it's starting to make its way back. Even when Ronda Rousey was getting as much hate as she was getting, she was way better heel than she was babyface, in my opinion, because she was genuinely hated.
Yeah,
Ronda
exactly.
Rousey.
Yeah, it's such an easy person to hate.
Oh, well, Logan Paul is actually in the news. So here we'll get to we'll detour from the backyard wrestling right into the Logan Paul drama. Because on the Clout route here, what we typically do if we're not having a guest like Dave or or like Tuesday, we're having a comedian, Dalton Pruitt on. If we're not doing stuff like that, it's usually me and Kevin shooting the shit about some crazy YouTuber.
I know all about Larry Zbyszko, Bruce.
So in typical Clout route fashion, we'll go to the drama with Logan Paul, folks. If you like to see him get slammed around in the ring, well, I'll give you another reason to hate him here, because I feel like people are not going to respond well to this story. It is the latest drama in Logan Paul's life. Did he push his poor dog off a boat into the water?
Oh man, I know what he did to his pig. I know he left that pig for scraps. He left
Beat
the
it
pig
by
for
1
bacon.
second.
So let's check out the video in question. Okay, here we'll see the moment, and then we'll see Logan Paul try to explain his way out of this whole situation here. You can be the judge. Okay, we're not one to refuse to review the footage and make a judgment. Okay, we will be fair and balanced, as they say.
Fair and balanced. Let's go.
So maybe I shouldn't play the music there. We might get sick of that, but eventually it goes off, actually. So I think we're fine. So you can see there the dog hops in. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, at this moment, essentially, is where people are debating. Did Logan's hand come in behind the dog, push it in, and then he gets to heroically dive in and save the poor thing? Or did the dog just jump in? Is that what happened? Okay. I'll rewind it just a little bit and we'll try to catch it one more time.
Ooh, I did see a hand there.
Uh-oh.
I'm going in. Come here, buddy.
The urgency.
Oh, that could that's farming. That's content farming, in my opinion.
I can't have you.
So Dave, you're not the
dog. Oh,
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Like if the dog was that confident in jumping off the boat by itself, it would know how to swim. You would know your dog can swim. So why would you dive after your dog to go after? It's almost like, oh no, my dog can't swim. Let me dive in. So it seems almost too fake. I don't know. My opinion.
Kevin, what do you think?
I am Xing to doubt as well. I don't think any of the. I agree with Dave. It's probably a farm of some kind. Logan, of all people, needs some good PR, right? And he's at least one good deed. CoffeeZilla's got an update for us about once every 2 weeks on some other behind the scenes scamming douchebaggery that Logan has done. So I could see him trying to do this. I think it's foolish because, as Dave and I immediately mentioned, like, we already know, and Coyote got one of his dogs, according to VDub, too. So we already know he's a horrible pet owner. So why this would be an angle he would bother even trying is beyond me.
Yeah.
But maybe it's a double bluff. Maybe it actually is a heel post. He's like, you know what? Let me just make people hate me more. This will work.
Maybe,
Whatever. I don't care.
maybe.
That's
Good call on that, Kev. Good call.
That's
on
a good idea. Like you guys are saying here, before I play Logan's footage and his rebuttal here, I'll show you this. This is at SlammyIGN on Twitter here. A reminder that Logan Paul also had a small dog eaten by a coyote, like VDub said, a parrot eaten by a dog. He rehomed his pig Pearl, who he bought for content. Pearl ended up being found abandoned in a ditch next to another dead pig.
Yep, next to the dead pig.
So, and then it doesn't mention it here, but I believe after he did the whole suicide forest thing and got in trouble for that, one of his first videos back was him trying to he was like tasing a dead rat or something, like something screwed up. Cause I remember the headlines being like, I can't believe this guy comes back from suicide forest and tases a dead animal.
You know, he learned how to go viral. You know, he really did. And he essentially wrote the book for today's creators. And it seems like he's still doing, you know, taking pages from his own book and applying them. So,
which is quite a feat for a guy who's never read a book. You know, to be able to write a book on anything is impressive.
Touche, sir.
This whole thing is classic clout route business, though. I mean, like, this is if it goes the way the internet thinks, and that he shoved his dog in the water to then, you know, heroically jump in and save it. You know, that's classic clout route, doing something scummy like that just to fucking make your way to the top.
He just wanted to dive in the water and show off for the girls that were in the boat. Like, look at my perfect form.
Glistening. But all right, let's hear Logan and his rebuttal here, okay?
In today's episode of What Can We Make Up About Logan Paul to Get Him Canceled? A video from 4 years ago circulating where my dog Broly jumped off a boat. They're trying to say that I pushed my dog off the boat for content, which, look, I know I've done some crazy stuff for content, but this accusation is on some serial killer shit.
So he's going very quickly, so I'll try to pause it as we go through here. But you just saw he fast forwarded through like 15 messages of people saying, I think he pushed his fucking dog in the water, which is an interesting way to go about your video and to put the opposition in there.
You're all on some serial killer shit.
Yeah, don't worry, Danny. They're all serial killers, so it's fine. What a take.
So here, let's go on here. He's got more to say.
First thing I did was immediately revisit the original video. And even back then, 4 years ago, I clarified in the comment section, pinned comment, that he was not pushed. Also, if you know anything about dogs, watch his body language. His head is straight. His eyes are locked onto something. Broly is the one who initiated the jump from
Logan Milan.
So here we kind of get a little bit. You can see the hands, and he's making the argument that the dog initiated the jump. You can tell by the angle and the way it's standing here. Its eyes are locked, but you can also see the hands if you look there.
Yeah, just guiding it off. Just guiding it off.
Oh, I was trying to grab it. I mean, like right there, you can see the hand in contact with the dog. So maybe you can be the judge.
I just love how he pulled out the telestrator for this thing. He's like, he's got the arrows, and you know, he's like John Madden. Yeah. And boom, here's my dog.
Well, one of his points
boom, he jumped.
One of his points also was even back then I pinned a comment saying that I didn't push him. It's like, does that somehow prove that you didn't push him? Is that you made like people thought you pushed him back then and now they think you still did it regardless of your I pinned a comment on there.
Oh boy.
All right, just a bit more.
Hurled throughout.
He's
the
just
jump.
a short
He was pushed,
creator now,
forced to
Logan?
get off the boat against his
I
will. He would have been
guess.
scared, and his tail would have been tucked between his legs. Since he was curled, it shows that he was comfortable and shows that it was a self-induced jump. Now for the hands, there are 2 hands.
Oh, now you're doing the
Back, one on his
body
hip.
language analysis on a dog. All right, spare me the
Caesar
Derek
Milan.
Van
Caesar
Shake
Milan ain't
bit.
got shit on
This
Logan
is
Paul.
wild.
And you can clearly see from the dog's eyebrows here that he is engaged in a playful activity. You can see there's no shimmying or shaking. He doesn't have eagle bumps. Like, what are we doing here?
He thinks he's Caesar
Logan.
Milan.
If you think
Logan
this
Milan.
thing was scared, you should see what my pig looked like when I left it in the desert.
Oh goodness. All right. So now he's starting to say, okay, here are the hands. Okay. We're looking at the hands. Now for the hands.
Jump. Now for the hands, there are 2 hands, one on the top of his back, one on his tail to try to prevent him from jumping in, but he obviously escaped our grasp and jumped in anyways. And you can see the one on the top, which I believe was my hand, kind of like follow him in just because I was trying to keep him from going, and he went in the water, and so then I had to go in after. Now 2 of the original tweets.
So he explains it as my hand was guiding it because I was trying to grab onto it the whole time.
I love that in the clip when he says the dog who I had to go in after, he shows a close-up of footage of the dog clearly swimming on its own and him just with his arm around it. Like in that split second, you can see, oh yeah, the dog can swim. So
Exactly.
yeah, idiot. Great work, Logan.
Hey, well, you know, he's got to come out here and debunk all these. He won't say anything about his CoffeeZilla lawsuit right now, but he'll definitely come out of the woodwork to debunk. How dare you say that I pushed my dog in the water?
4 years ago.
Yeah. I can't let this one slide, okay?
Saying that I pushed my dog in the water were deleted after I responded with the original video in slow motion and HD and said 4 years later and still go yourself, which was my original response when this happened, because this is so like ridiculous to me. I'm not even having this conversation. Go yourself. But yeah, I am extremely
How
thankful.
much Adderall do you think he's on right now to talk that fast?
Oh yeah, there's a concoction of drugs there to make that thing
Holy shit.
run.
I think Vida brings up a great point. Either way, it's neglect, right? Like, so could
agree.
we probably all just agree the dog should have never been allowed to get into that position in the first place?
For
And the
sure.
fact that you have a camera pointed at it lets us know that you had plenty of opportunities to keep him from getting there, because there's a cameraman hanging off the edge of the boat or some shit. Like, what the hell
Yeah.
are we doing? It's
Tons of
whether it's
people
staged or
there.
not. He's
It's a
once again a
puppy.
shit dog owner. Should
Content
not be
was
allowed to have
purely
pets.
yeah. Content was purely the focus of that for some reason. So
Oh, for sure, for sure.
if the cameras were rolling, they wanted content.
So now he's going in with the people that are defending him. Okay, it's very obvious they didn't push the dog off. The hand was on top of the dog, petting it. He was only petting it. You'd think if you're sitting there petting the dog that you would be able to also prevent it from jumping into the fucking water. Why are you petting it there anyways? It's like halfway out of the boat and you're like, oh, the little guy needs some pets right now. It's like, what? Oh,
Thankful for people that did have my back. Even people that don't like me still have my back, which was nice. And oh yeah, there's high definition video evidence to support what I'm saying.
so
Everyone doesn't like you, so that is, even people who didn't like me didn't. Yeah, that's all of us. So if anyone had your back, then that is implied.
So, another notch on Logan's belt, not his professional wrestling belt, but his degenerate YouTuber life belt.
And that's got a lot of notches on it.
That's right. That's a lot of notches.
Holy shit.
All right. Well, as we're coming on to halftime here shortly, let me do a little commentary community side quest. How about we call it that? Okay.
I'm down for a side quest.
Every once in a while, me and Kevin will joke about some commentary community folks out there. We'll have some people on the show that are from the little commentary community. Badwick's been on the show. I mean, we essentially met Dave in the same kind of community. So,
Yep.
Assistant
We all got
Sailor
started somewhere.
also commentary community guys. So you guys have seen commentary community people on the show. We kind of dabble in those waters anyways, all of us here.
Your
We have a tier list video that's longer than a Peter Jackson film. Check that out.
That's right.
You got
that
a new
was
one
long
coming
one.
out.
JoJo on there too. So all kinds of commentary community people here on the Clout route. We're going to talk about one. So speaking of Badwick, a few weeks ago, okay, he had some drama going on one of his channels. He does this podcast called The Wall Smashers, where they get together a bunch of goofy commentary community people to argue
I just did it.
about nonsense. Oh yeah, did you? Shouts out to
It
Dave.
was the calmest Wall Smashers episode they ever had.
I believe that.
They were pissed.
They were pissed. Yeah, they like it to be a little more rambunctious, don't they?
Seems like it.
So here's the
This
episode.
goon.
Oh, go ahead.
This guy. Are we talking about this goon?
Yes. So I'll kind of
My God.
dip my toe into the water here to explain him, and then we'll get into it. But MaggotEdits, who is a friend of the show, she often in chat, a vocal commentary community member, I would say, definitely sticks up for. It's not. Yeah, I like Maggot's vibes. Anyways, the name though, I hate saying Maggot, but I like the vibes.
At least it's not moist maggot. You know?
Ugh.
Yeah, something like that. Gross. So shouts out to Badwick. He hosted this on his channel, and we're not going to get into any of the blood sports here, but Maggot was arguing with this guy, AJ, who was accusing her of being a bad person online because of the dramas that she's gotten into in the past. Okay. If you want to go check out Badwick's 2 hours worth of them arguing, go right ahead. You saw the link and the video there. I encourage you to go check that out.
Wasn't he also upset because she dates fellow commentary community member D-Max? Like, I could have swore that was like part of his beef, that you're dating D-Max, and she's like, D-Max is my real boyfriend. Like, it was a whole big ordeal. Yeah,
it is weird how you'll see it happen a lot online, where like if there are two people that are together creating content separately online, their communities will often, people will go to communities and judge them upon the other one. You know what I mean? So like people will be like, Maggie, I can't believe your boyfriend acts like this or whatever, you know, or said this, and like it's her fault or problem or thing to answer for. It is weird.
Huggy did that with me in that whole Huggy Pack thing. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah, he thought Kevin was smoking on that Huggy Pack when in reality it was me.
I'm always catching strays for Danny.
That's right. But really the reason why I wanted to bring up this AJ versus Maggot thing, that's just somewhere where you can go see AJ kind of make his arguments, stand on his own 2 feet, or try to, against Maggot.
Try to.
But I thought that the arguments there, the blood sports between the two of them, was totally one-sided. Maggot owned this guy, just destroyed him.
I agreed. I agreed.
And I wasn't interested in really going in on this AJ character. I don't even know who he is really. So
nobody does.
He got clowned on in the interview. We can all move on, right? That's what I thought. Until I saw this, and it made me want to bring it to everyone's attention and laugh at this guy a little bit more. Okay. Sorry, I can't help it. But here is Gaming Witch. She says,
she got me blocked. I couldn't see this because she has me blocked. I was so mad. I was so mad.
It happens to the best of us, Dave. We know how that goes.
I never did anything to the Gaming Witch.
Yeah, Tall Bart.
Gaming B word one time, and that was all it took.
Well, maybe after this she'll change her mind after she sees us talking about her tweets.
Please.
But so the Gaming Witch quotes this AJ guy who got in the argument there in that video with Maggot. Okay, quotes him on August 19th. He shares this new video dropping this weekend, hopefully. Shadman commentaries open secret. That's what the video is called. Here is the thumbnail. Okay. You can kind of see that.
Yes.
And if we go back to Gaming Witch, bruh, same thumbnail and title. 3 years ago, we had Turkey Tom with the Sins of Shadman, an open secret with the same thumbnail.
Plagiarism. Holy
I mean, this is like straight, like, this isn't even, can I copy your homework? Because when you copy your homework, you know, like, oh, well, I got to change a little bit of this, a little bit of that. No, he put his face on it instead of Turkey Tom's and then made the same title too.
What is the difference? How long was it in between the uploads? Just, you know, was he hoping people would forget?
So he was on August 19th. That was just this month. And this video from from Turkey Tom about Shadman is 3 years old. So yes, I think it might have been a thing where he's like, oh, that was a good idea.
Just assuming, well, anyone who's watched that, it's out of their algorithm now, so they might not realize that they've seen this video before. What the hell?
Did Tom say anything about this?
I didn't see him say anything about it particularly, but you've got people in the comments underneath being like, look, dude, even making the comparison themselves. So like, it's not only Gaming Witch here. There's tons of people that are like, unbelievable, dude. Way to rip off.
Wow. This kid has not one original bone in his body. You know, he made that D-Max video because he thought his voice would be louder than all the other YouTubers who made a video trying to defend that Magnetar guy. Like, I just could not believe, like, dude, nobody knows who you are. How do you think that your video is going to do better than the likes of Mutahar or whoever else covered that subject? And now we're just finding out, like, he's stealing. Oh, wow. This kid's got to go somewhere. He's got to go to special classes. He needs to go to YouTube school.
Good thing we have our professional thumbnail artist, Kevin, here to not go and steal from other creators. He just,
I think
cooks
he knows better than
himself.
Yeah. I mean,
I just got to
AI
start doing them different. You know, it's like, oh man, I have a very obvious style. We need to switch things up. But yeah, no, I
think an AI generator is more original than that. You know, they take inspiration from other people's pictures. It's like, holy shit.
Right. He certainly would have got less controversy and pushback from this if he just would have made an AI thumbnail instead of ripping somebody off blatantly. But there it is. I thought that was a funny little commentary tangent. That AJ guy definitely screwed
catch,
up there.
Gaming Witch. Good catch. It would be even better if you unblocked me.
Yeah, unblock Dave. All right, folks. Well, it is halftime. This is where I shout you guys out and tell you some things that we've got going on. So, Kevin, Dave, if you have any breaks you need to take, now is your time. Okay, or you can sit and chill and hang out with me while I do it.
Yeah, I'm just vibing.
Hell yeah. Well, obviously, go check out Dave. Milltown's Best on YouTube. Supa Dave. Milltown's Best on Twitter too, right?
Milltown's Best 1 on Twitter.
Milltown's Best 1 on Twitter. So go check Dave out. And make sure you like the stream. If you're here watching Dave from Dave's community, we appreciate you for coming by. But yeah, we would love the like on the stream if you could do that. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not. That's a big one. If you want to see more of us, definitely hit that subscribe button. We would really appreciate that. But we appreciate you just being here. That is great. The comments are great. If you're in chat, we love to look at it and we love to share. And if you're watching it on the replay, I love to read your comments on the back end as well. So thank you for that. But if you want to support the Clout Route, you can donate $1 or $5 on YouTube or on patreon.com/thecloutroute. On YouTube, $1 will get you all of our content and $5 will get you read off in this segment of the show. On Patreon, $1 will get you all of our content and some exclusive stuff over there. as well as the 5 will get you shouted out. Okay, so without further ado, shout out producers this week: Corn Cone Still, platinum subscriber, Pest, Kinda Cool Greg, Ryan, Kia Cat, August Child, Unstoppable Jojo, over on Patreon. On YouTube, we've got Advent, Steffi, McMuffin, Emma Lamarie, Dingus McRibs, Teaching Turtles, Adam Price, Baz, and Headbug Inc. So we appreciate all of you for supporting us. And like I said, if you are here watching, that is good enough for us. That is enough support. In my opinion, we appreciate it. Okay. So I will let Dave and Kevin talk some shop here for a second while I sneak out of the shop. So have at it, folks. I'm sure you guys have a lot to talk about. What's the latest wrestling news?
Dave, are you keeping up with wrestling nowadays, or are you not watching?
I know AEW's in Wembley. I keep up with the dirt sheets. I watch, I'm one of those guys now at this point. I keep up with much more independent wrestling than anything. I got my finger on Midwest independent wrestling. I always on the pulse of it. Try to always stay involved in that and see who's coming up and whatnot. I'm like one of those indie race car drive, that I'd prefer indie racing more than NASCAR. I like watching will come up as opposed to once they're already at the big time. So I know much more about the up and coming people than anything. But I know AEW is in Wembley tonight, are they not? They're doing
That's right.
tonight?
Yeah, it starts. I think pre-show starts at noon because all of their pay-per-views have to be 7 hours long. But yeah, the main card I believe starts at 2 p.m. Should be a good time. I don't know, man.
What do you think of Tony Storm?
Oh, hilarious! I think it's
doing the best work.
Yeah, dude, I don't think a lot of people can get that type of a character over.
So good.
They're like little minor tweaks where I would have I felt like they were pretty quick to rush to like everyone also is accepting her little delusions. I thought they could have stretched that out a little longer and gotten more comedy out of it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It still works for what it is. Yeah, right, Harles. Danny's promo Bite Size Sports for us on purpose. Definitely did that on purpose. I love that.
Harles is awesome. I'm gonna eventually steal Harles's dog. I'm still plotting my whole mission. But Harles's dog will be my dog at some point. Harles just don't know that. Well, maybe now she does, but it will be mine. Oh yes, it will be mine.
You let the dog out of the bag, Dave. You let the dog out of the bag.
Well, it's gonna eventually go into a bag before it gets a pleasurable life. I jest.
I did not push the dog into the bag. You can clearly see.
Yeah, I didn't push it off a boat. I put it into a bag, and then I took it out, and I loved it.
Yeah, it jumped into the bag, and it's of its own volition. You can see by the body language it wanted to
anybody
jump
that anybody that thinks I pushed it in a bag, they're serial killers.
Exactly. Hey, and Kevin, while we're here, I figured at halftime, why don't you go ahead and tell the people what they can go find over on Dweeb from us?
Ooh, that's right. Hey, if you're a horror fan, especially, we've been talking about a lot of independent wrestling, independent racing. I'm a huge fan of independent films, and where the best of the independent films go is usually into the horror genre. Danny and I watched Late Night with the Devil and then spent almost the entire movie's runtime talking about it, going into all of the Easter eggs, hints along the way. So if you liked that movie, you definitely want to go check it out. Shout out to everybody from this channel that went over there and watched it. I know some of you are already Dweeb subscribers, but it was really cool. I accidentally uploaded the raw footage the first time and had to immediately take the video down. And I had people DMing me like, hey, man, I watched this movie just to watch your episode, and now it's gone. What the hell? So thank you guys so much, those that reached out and let us know, like, hey, I watched this movie because I wanted to hear you guys talk about it. If you have other movies you want to see us completely deep dive into, that's one of my favorite things to do. I'll have on the non-horror front, I'm working on a very long Tombstone video just because I want to talk about one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm such a curmudgeon. Every once in a while, it feels good just to say nothing but nice things about something for a couple, which obviously I can't do. I will give my critiques on Tombstone, but loving the deep dives. You can also hear Danny and I talk about The Boys on that channel. We've done a few different things together, so make sure if you're interested in hearing us say nice things occasionally, go subscribe to us at The Dweeb. It's 2 Ds on the front. James and I also go live Monday and Wednesday, where you can hear people project their own Star Wars biases on me, because don't you know it, Danny? That Acolyte show that I spent a year promoting, that James and I did a preview review on only 4 short months ago, saying we're excited for this show. I watched that in bad faith. I wanted it to fail. And every Wednesday, I dance on the grave of Leslie Headland's career. So make sure you subscribe to Dweeb if you're an asshole like me.
Dave, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek all day long.
I knew you were going to say that. I heard you. I heard you making some references the other day. I don't forget what had came up, but you're like,
we were talking
I gotta
about
talk
the Borg.
about the Borg. Me and Kevin have consumed the Borg on the show before, actually.
Riot Punch.
Nice.
It was those giant jugs of mixed alcohol that the kids were drinking. For some reason, they called it a Borg. We were assimilated by that Borg.
I
it
love
does
Star
assimilate
Trek.
you.
I mean, who's my favorite captain? VW wants to know, and I'm gonna be very bold, but I like I like Captain Archer. Very underrated captain. Followed by Janeway. Least favorite, I would say, is Cisco. I'm not a big Cisco guy. Also, I'm not a fan of Captain Kirk. I'm not. Maybe it's because it's before my time. I'm not a big Shat fan. I'm not a Shat fan.
You're not a Shat fan?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Jean-Luc Picard. Patrick Stewart, amazing. But after the, Voyager is really good. Voyager is probably my favorite series, followed by Enterprise. Enterprise is so underrated and it gets shit on so much, and it's like so good. I loved Enterprise and it had so much potential, but then 9/11 happened, and the whole series as a whole took a strange shift. And then we were talking about Zindi, which was symbolism for everything that was going on with Afghanistan, and it was just crazy.
9/11 really fucked everything up, didn't it?
It did. It sure did.
Oh goodness! Well,
damn it! Fucked my favorite show up.
There you go.
People don't talk about that enough.
Look at VW agrees with me. VW is my kind of people.
I agree with everything Dave said. I don't know. I thought that and this is yet to be seen, but I thought that Star Trek fans would find it blasphemous that you don't like the Shat. So, it sounds like VW agrees, but I feel like
I'm from a different generation. There's the old school Trekkers, the ones that grew up with the original series. They usually cut people like me slack because, I'm an 80s baby and I didn't grow up with that. So they'll Trekkies we're all about peace, live long and prosper. So as long as you like Star Trek, your family. Exactly. It's not just Vader time around here. It's, Vulcan.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, let's get into some more fun then here, guys. One of the things I was going to talk about at the top that we didn't have a chance to get to because we were having such a good wrestling talk was kind of like the build up for this. Honestly, like I said, we tried to get Dave on the show before, had some scheduling conflicts. That stuff always happens, but we have been, the Clout route, or even just me, have been collabing with Dave for quite some time. I believe first time I ever did anything with you, I came on. You used to have an old podcast. This might be, I don't know if this is rough memories for you or not, Dave.
Bring it up. It's all good.
I hope it's not touchy territory, but back in the day, I went on, it was Valid Opinions Live is what it was called, right? With your co-host Valid Opinions. And
you're the last guest we had.
I was the last guest we had. Ooh.
Mhm.
Don't say that too much because people might stop inviting me on their shows. They're like,
Good show, amazing show.
I see what happens when this guy comes on.
Show killer, Danny. We got a gimmick
Definitely
for you.
not. Definitely not. If anybody was the show killer on that show, it was Salvo.
Yeah, that gimmick fits him pretty
Fucking with you,
well. I think.
Salvo. But not really.
He's a big fan of the show. He loves our charisma here, he says. So
Does he?
shout out to Salvo.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm-
joking? Or are you serious? 'Cause he's-
I'm joking.
Oh, okay. Because you never know with Salvo. You never know. I still to this day don't know how the man legitimately feels about me. And I will say this about all of my interactions with Salvo Pancakes: the man is such a diva. He is very hot and cold, like a menstruating female. He is. I don't know. I feel like I don't know which Salvo I'm getting when I try to send him messages sometimes, and I'm sure he feels the same way about me. To be honest, he sent me a message the other day, and he was like, "Are you all better now?" And I was thinking to myself, what does that mean? But yes, I was like, yes, I'm a lot better. Thank you.
Always. I'm bettering myself every day, Salvo. Hopefully he is too. But yeah, so one of the first times I came on was Valid Opinions Live with Dave and his co-host Valid, and Salvo made a guest appearance. That was fun.
Unwelcomed.
I like to think that all haters of the Clout Route are secretly hate watchers too. So, they might not be in the chat, but they're definitely. Salvo probably peeks his head in here every once in a while. Says,
Yeah,
I
I'm
hate
sure
these
he does.
guys.
He knows more about the CC than anybody. Salvo was pitching. He was on Edwin's stream the other day, and he was pitching a game show he wants to do where we all try to guess the other commentary community's alt accounts. And he says nobody knows everybody's alt accounts like he does. That is how into the commentary community Salvo Pancakes is, where he said he can guess who everybody's alt accounts are, their sock puppets are.
Yeah, okay. He should tell us who the infamous Sal G Grillo fucking account has been this whole time then. There's that troll account that has been trolling him with his address and everything on it for
I think he knows
years.
who that is.
For years now. I want to know who it is, kind of.
I could figure that out.
Oh, well. You'll have to get back to me on that, Dave.
Yeah, I will.
But anyways,
we'll talk.
enough Salvo Pancakes. I can't have him derailing
Yeah.
another show.
Apologize.
No, we're all good. The last thing that the Clout Route collaborated with Dave on his show over here is an interview we were doing for the Dave was making a Dove cult documentary talking about some of these weird little subset of the commentary community. And he asked us on to, give our piece on that and other things, about just online creation and whatnot. So if you're interested, go check out part 1 and 2 over on Dave's channel with me, Dave, and Kevin. That was a fun
part
time.
3. There is a part 3. I just haven't released it because that has a lot more to do with the actual Dove cult aspect of the documentary. And I didn't know how you guys would feel about me putting that out without putting out the actual documentary. So I kind of held back on that. So I stuck to a lot of the content creation questions we asked. And I held a lot of that. Of course, towards the end is when we started really diving into who's who and what's what. So I didn't want to put all that out without the documentary. So eventually maybe it might come out. I got a couple of interviews with Triton and a couple other people. It might all come out,
Hey, well, that'll be a deep cut for somebody to check out sometime.
But your interview, I put yours out because you guys are so informative. You're so funny. You're so easy to talk to. And it was a genuine,
thank you.
awesome, real conversation, just like the one I had with Maggot. You two are the 2 interviews I really couldn't wait to put out. I was going to put them out regardless. I was so impressed with the interview we did and the one I did with Maggot. So, I encourage you guys, check those out. Really informative interviews.
Yeah, I appreciate all
Thanks,
that, Dave. So the last stream that I call of Dave's, okay, was just the other day, where he was talking more about some of the Jeremy Hales stuff. And
Darth Hales.
what's that?
Darth Hales, as Kev
Darth
calls him.
Hales. Okay, Darth Hales. And Jason Hales, his son, has came out now too. So I want to talk a bit about some of that and maybe familiarize the audience a bit here with Jeremy Hales. But go check out this stream after you watch us or whatever today. It was a good one. Just Dave, just the other day. So I encourage you to go check it out, and you can catch up on some of this stuff that we're about to talk about. But as I got here, we've got Jeremy Hales, Darth Hales YouTube channel. And I wanted to pull that up and kind of look at it and then get Dave to maybe intro some of the unfamiliar folks in the audience to this guy. So Jeremy Hales, we talked about him on the show before, actually, once. It was when, I mean, I think you were definitely covering him at the time, Dave. And I think it was somebody encouraging me to watch your stream and talk about it. Maybe his Mama Creepy shouts out.
Probably.
But back then, what was the actual drama? Hales had been in a video with an older woman, and he had some kind of, essentially she was like escorting him out of a room with like a friendly, hand, and he had turned it into a, like, I don't know what battery. Yeah, like what the fuck? So that was the last time that we talked about Jeremy, but can you give us kind of what does Jeremy Hales do, and why are we hearing so much negative stuff about him lately, including what I was just saying?
All right, so Jeremy Hales, he is a YouTuber with, I believe it is 720,000 subscribers as of this recording. And he has been active for the past 5 years, and he has done everything from camping videos to coin pusher gambling videos. But his real niche is buying and selling abandoned storage units from storage unit auctions. So it's kind of like a treasure hunt. He digs through all these other people's broken lives, essentially, and then sells off the items and everything. And that was fine and dandy. He was Google preferred, doing everything awesome, building a channel, and he made a bunch of money. He made all this money, and then, he's also dabbles in real estate. He's always dabbled in real estate, and he wanted to move down south because his significant other at the time always dreamed of moving down south. So 2020, COVID hits, they, can't do auctions or anything. So they look at this piece of land, 70 acres in a small town in Florida called Otter Creek. Otter Creek is a small town. It has a population of 100 people.
Wow.
So, so Jeremy Hales buys 70 acres in this small town. And from day one, he starts throwing around his money, big dog in everybody, comes out, and he has a playlist on his channel. It's called the Otter Creek. It's not Otter Creek to Jeremy. It's Otter, ODDER, because everybody's odd there. And he starts picking on his neighbors there for putting garbage on his land, and everything's a whodunit. Everything's a mystery. He's essentially, in my opinion, doxing these neighbors, and that's how it started. Then he starts going to town hall meetings, and he finds out that he's being overcharged on his water bill. So he starts calling out county officials and going to town hall meetings and making content about the town hall meetings. That is how you saw the video of that lady escorting him out of the office. She was the town clerk, and he was there complaining about his water bill. And she said, "There's nothing I can do for you. Please leave my office." And he was like, no, I had the camera, making content. And she escorted him out, by the touch of elbow. Next thing you know, the video the next day is him calling the cops and getting her pressing battery charges. And then that became a storyline on his channel for so long. He has said that the mayor of Otter Creek, he has a name for him. He calls him Russ the Sus, because the mayor is suspicious. And It's a big con. He says Mary, the one that got charged with battery, that's Mary. Math is scary because she can't do math.
This guy's taking like Trump.
This guy
uh,
reminds me of someone. Okay, they don't
Yeah,
send their
everybody's got a
best to
nickname.
Otter Creek. They send their scary math people.
So he's doing all this for content, and eventually a property is for sale across the street from his. He gets word that a fan of his bought the property. And at first he's making videos. I'm real excited. A super fan is moving across the street. Let's go explore the land. The new property owner gave me permission to explore the land. And what started out as a friendly neighborhood thing, you know, slowly but surely it started breaking apart, breaking down. And next thing you know, Jeremy is accusing these neighbors of stalking him to Otter Creek. They bought the land to stalk me here. And then he starts picking apart. You can see the lady's picture. She's in every single one of his thumbnails up until today for the past 2 years.
The older lady?
Yep. And she's a 62-year-old disabled lady. And he calls them and that guy with the jail suit on, that's her ex-husband, John. They're now characters on his channel, and every day they're getting drugged through the mud. Jeremy has spoke to the biological daughters of this person, the stepdaughters, has doxed them, has done all the he said, when I say doxing, he's exposing information like their records and everything like that. I shouldn't say, you know, I personally feel it is with malicious intent. And again, this is my opinion. Everything he's doing is malicious in my opinion. And he is doing it. All of these videos are monetized. And she is not a public figure. They're trying to say she's a public figure, but she is not. He is making her a public figure with these news stories and these videos. So they've been entangled in court cases. She went to the police and tried to get a no contact order, a restraining order against Jeremy. And Jeremy has paid to date $185,000 to stop this restraining order from going through. He has claimed that the judge in the case is corrupt. He has claimed anything and everything. Yeah, anything and everything he could do. He claims that, you know, the 62-year-old lady who has a 4-year-old adopted daughter, he claims that she is mishandling the child, that the child shouldn't be living the way the child's living, because they are living a semi-off-grid style of life. They have a septic system and they have campers, and she's trying to build a house on her land that she bought. So, you know, that's how they're living. And he's telling his audience of over 700,000 people that this kid shouldn't be living like this. And the kid, they have a shed to house, and he says the kid shouldn't be living in a shed to house or a camper. Like, he's judging how other people are living and raising their kids, to the point where CPS has been called on this lady 27 times as of today.
Wow. What the fuck?
All 27 times CPS has not found anything. So now this content creator is screaming corruption. CPS is corrupt. Levy
Everyone's
County
against me. They're all against me, all sides.
It couldn't be that he's making exaggerated claims. And it got to the point where just last Monday, one of this content creator's #1 fans, who's also a live streamer, went on live stream and called CPS while live on the air and made a false report. Allegedly, you know, there was nothing found from it, because they did come out and check the house and there was nothing founded. And then he encouraged all of his audience to call CPS and report the same, just because of the content that is in one of this guy's videos. Not because they have firsthand knowledge or they know this child or the mother or anything of the such. They only can see this one video. And so now lawyers are involved. There's a bunch of lawsuits going on. Not only is the neighbor want the CPO, the protective order, now she is suing this content creator, the DUI guy who is a law tuber, another parody song content creator, for statute 540.08 of the Florida statutes, which states that Jeremy is using her likeness, her voice, her picture, everything without her consent for monetary gain in commercial videos. And she is suing for relief and to make these videos go away on the internet. YouTube has been alerted to this several times, and I believe the lawyers said YouTube wrote back and said the only way that they're going to start taking action is if legal proceedings are initiated. Well, legal proceedings are now initiated, so everything. So the content creator, Jeremy, just got served at a town hall meeting, believe it or not, and his response to that was to threaten me, threaten all the other YouTubers that are covering this case, that he's going to sue us all and all this type of stuff. Why? Because we laughed at him, because we thought it was funny. The man that accuses everybody else, and he spent so much money to have this other YouTuber serve papers. And this YouTuber, his name's Thomas Collins, he was kind of ducking the process server, you know, and they tried over 3 times. And this content creator, Jeremy, makes a video talking about my server is so good. He's good. 3 day, you know, we'll get him. And it just sucks that the guy that served Jeremy is the same server that served Thomas Collins. And Thomas Collins was there and filmed it all and got it all on film. It was like poetic justice, you know. Thomas Collins was like, "Hey, I know you. You're the server that served me. Now you're serving Jeremy." It was so good, and it's just a clusterfuck. And now Jeremy, you know, there's so many channels now. There's probably over a dozen YouTube channels that are speaking on this content creator, and he poses as a Christian man, and he has a high percentage of elderly fans that donate lots of money to him. And now he's asking for legal fees, even though he has multiple properties. One of them is valued at over $1 million. He has an aviary in one of his properties. I mean, this man is very well off, and he's still soliciting legal fees because it's compelling entertainment, in my opinion. It's so crazy. But now everybody was always wondering why Jeremy's kids don't speak. You know, nobody speaks to Jeremy. His family doesn't speak to him. His kids don't speak to him. None of his ex-collaborators speak with him.
That's not a good sign. I feel like
It's not.
your whole family is disowning you, that's a big red flag there.
Yeah, he got fired. He was worked at a church Baptist camp in a church for over 8 years as an executive director, and he's done sermons and everything. And he got fired mysteriously from this church. And then some of these YouTubers have called the church and said, you know, can you tell us why he was fired? They said, we cannot tell you the exact reason why he was fired, but we will say we will never hire him again. And that's from a church. You know, that is from Baptist church.
Yeah, forgiveness is kind of a big thing there. Usually.
Yeah, exactly.
He got his commandments wrong, though. It's not troll thy neighbor, I think. Wasn't it love thy neighbor? I agree.
Love thy neighbor. And I agree that Slug got the interview of the century the other night, because Slug is now covering the story. Of all people in the commentary community, Slug's on it. The Pitbull. Talk about a thorn in Jeremy's ass, right?
I guess if anybody's going to be a pain in someone's ass, you send Slug.
I agree.
It was funny because when I was like getting together some of this that I wanted to talk about in the show with you, the best way I could think about describing some of this Jeremy Hale stuff is like small town drama. It's like, Kevin, can you think of like could you center a whole YouTube video around the drama going down in your hometown?
It would be compelling to maybe 18 or 19 people, but I will just say this: anytime I scroll Facebook and I just see updates from the people that I added when I was in high school, it does kind of feel like some reality TV shit where it's like people putting other people's food trucks on blast and stuff like this, and I'm like, whoo, boy, I'm getting back off this website.
He found a cheap way to make compelling content, in my opinion. But yeah, he's messing around because these people are private citizens. They're not public figures. I mean, I get the mayor and the town clerk because those are public figures. Have at them all you want. But these neighbors, they're not public figures. You know, he's making characters out of these people and storylines. Like at one point, one of the neighbors in this small town, they dumped garbage along one of these side roads that nobody drives on, right? There was dead, dirty diapers and stuff found on the side road. So it became a whodunit on this man's channel, whose diapers were dumped on Dead Dog Road. So they found a picture of this neighbor's, I told you she has a 4-year-old daughter. Jeremy's viewers or somebody found pictures of this child in diapers. Then Jeremy or whoever works for his website took pictures of the child in diapers, zoomed in on the private area, on the bottom area, posted it to his community tab, and was like, look at the prints on this child's diapers, and then look at the diaper print that was dumped on Dead Dog Road. This is proof that Lynette dumped her diapers on Dead Dog Road. And it's like, just stuff like that. And every day it's something new. Every day it's digging deeper and trying to make this woman look worse. The other day she took her child for a walk. She had to walk to Walmart, so she put her child in a stroller and was walking along the road. He had his viewers walking behind her, driving, trailing her, taking pictures and sending them to Jeremy to put on his YouTube channel. And then she's a horrible mother because she's walking along the roadside with her child. And just everything he can do to try to make her look bad is becoming, it's getting bad. It's getting worse and worse every day. And now, like I said, 27 CPS calls, all unfounded, and they keep coming. There's federal court cases. There's cases going on in Ohio, Florida. It's just nonstop. This YouTuber is very litigious, and he's got his viewers, hopped up and paying for these legal fees at this point. He's got a GoFundMe. He's got a thing on his YouTube page where you can just send checks to his lawyer if you want. Here's my lawyer's address. Send him checks.
Oh, we need to do that.
Yeah, right. You could take a peek at these thumbnails, and like I feel like any normal person coming to this channel and looking at his videos and his thumbnails, you would think that all these, like this woman you're referring to and her family, his neighbor, you would think that they're all in on the video from the way he frames it. Right. I know. Yeah. Like from what you explained, it seems like he's very much
he's
turning
obsessed.
them into characters, like you said. But
yeah, he's
you
obsessed,
look at these,
in my opinion.
You look at these thumbnails and you would think just from a glance that this old lady is part of his like video YouTube series. She's in like half of his videos on the thumbnails.
127, I believe it is as of now.
Like, that's crazy. You would think that she's in on it, but he's doing all this content on her, and it seems like against her will. Like, she does not want to deal with his fucking ass.
Yep, she doesn't want to be a public figure. And then he makes fun because she's got aliases, and then he's like, she's such a criminal. She's got aliases. And it's like, she has aliases because she doesn't want to be bothered. That's why people have aliases. They want their privacy. Stop exposing her and trying to make something. And if you read some of these titles of these clickbaity videos, if half of these titles were true, these people would be in jail 20 times over. There is no charges against them. There is nothing. It is all clickbait. It is all embellished, in my opinion, for entertainment and monetization. This is my opinion, and I'm allowed to have it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I mean, based on what I know, and the limited research that I've done myself and what we've talked about on the show before. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't take much to connect the dots there and see that this guy's kind of a sketchy individual making some unsavory content.
And let's just say she is a crazy batshit neighbor. How many of us have a crazy batshit neighbor? I think we all do. But we give them their privacy, and we let them be the crazy batshit neighbor on our block, and they're gossiped amongst the neighborhood, not amongst the planet. Privacy is key in certain aspects, and it's like he feels he's entitled to make this content, and it's like you are ruining people's families. It's not just these neighbors, it's the townspeople. There's other neighbors involved. There's other people. This one lady went to a town hall meeting the other day, and she was complaining about her water bill being high. The same thing that Jeremy complained about. But because she complained about it, he posted her whole criminal record, her mug shots, posted all of that in his video, and tried to make her out like a crazy person because she just wanted her water bill fixed.
So isn't this guy, I mean, hasn't he at least, I don't know if he's actively doing it, but hasn't he like struck your privacy struck videos before and
7
shit for
times.
people
7
for
times.
people showing his likeness or talking about him, right?
Yeah, he copyright struck Badwick for using his logo.
So isn't it crazy to
one of
think,
those.
and I'd like to hear what you think, Kevin, after I say this, but isn't it crazy to think that this guy is, you can't talk about me, you can't talk about me, you know, privacy strike here, privacy strike there. And then his videos are exactly doing what he doesn't want other people to do to him. He's doing it to another person, being like, you're in every one of my thumbnails, you're in fucking every other video of mine. This old lady that doesn't even want to associate with this motherfucker. So it's just a weird.
He says she deserves it because she might have trolled him on the internet when they started having a bad thing. She might have went on Facebook and said a couple derogatory things about him, but he's a public figure. How many times have you guys had derogatory things said about you?
Kevin?
Plenty. A few, I think.
That doesn't give you the right to make
one.
127 videos about your haters, does it? That doesn't give you a right to dig into your
wouldn't say
haters'
so.
records and stuff, does it?
Definitely not
no,
that. That's where people
weird
get into this
justification.
craziness. That's where people
Yeah.
get into this craziness. You think that you get into an altercation, an argument online, and that means that what? You're allowed to now you're going to Google search this person and find all their information and be a weirdo about it. Like,
Yeah.
no, I don't think that there is ever an excuse for a person online to be, especially when you're having arguments with people. Like, I'm arguing with somebody else. There's never a good excuse for me to then Google search that person and hold on to information like where they're from or where they live or personal stuff that obviously aren't sharing themselves. Like, that is the weirdness that goes a bit too far, that a lot of people do. I mean, commentary, especially when we were talking about that, commentary is notorious for these people that think that it is like it's a thing that you can do to just, if somebody's going to be an asshole, well, I've got all your information. Ha ha. Like, fuck you. It's
That's
such a weird
malicious.
get. It is. It is. Absolutely.
It's just the weirdest justifications for this behavior, and his fans parrot everything he says. You know, he calls me Stupid Dave, so all of his viewers parrot that, and I'm Stupid Dave. The lawyers get weird nicknames. Everybody gets weird nicknames. All these YouTubers, you know, and he's Christian. He's Christian, yet he's body shaming these other YouTubers, calling them fat and all that. He says they smell like cod. These two females, and basically saying that they smell like fish. Like he's making all these, but he's the Christian man. You know, he's the preacher I could pull up sermons right now of this man preaching. But yeah, his son came out and talked about, you know, how afraid he is and how he lost custody of him and the sisters, and he cheated on his ex-wife, and he's just not a good father. But he's making fun of Miss Preston, the neighbor, for being a bad mother, when it's like pot meet kettle, because here's your son saying you're a bad father.
Which the poor kid here definitely got dad's looks, that's for sure. But
Sure did.
He's pulling it off a little better, I would say, than that.
That's what his fans. That's what everybody seems to say, that he's much better looking than his father. While he did get saddled with the Hales features.
Suck on that, Jeremy. But
I said he's going to usurp all of his dad's viewers.
that's what we want. The outcome we want here is for Jason Hales to have the 700K subscribers.
Amen.
Give it to him. So, yeah, I guess like that is a bunch on Jeremy. So this, like we were saying, recently his son Jason came out and has given his 2 cents on the whole thing. I guess you can find that video in entirety here on Dieter Centauri or whatever, but Dave watched it on his stream. And then you also said Slug actually got this guy on his channel.
He was hanging out in Slug's chat. He was
weird.
just, you know, Slug was just live streaming. Next thing you know, he's on Slug's stream with the neighbor's lawyer. You know, the one that's bringing all. It's crazy. And Slug got the interview.
So what's a little taste for that for people? You can go check out Slug Entertainment if you want to see the whole thing. But why don't you give us like, well, I guess we can start with just what is Jason Hales actually coming out and saying about his dad, that he's not a good father in many ways, yada yada.
That he was abusive, that he took $10,000 from each one of his kids when the divorce was initiated and then held it as leverage over the children's head. Come talk to me and I'll give you the 10,000 back. And the only one that's ever got the 10,000 back was his older sister. That he lost all contact, was not allowed to make phone calls to his kids. There was no communication allowed. And now he's 19. He still wants no communication. He said he didn't get shit from his dad as a kid growing up. And it was one of his big birthdays. And what did his dad give him for his birthday? A bunch of used consoles from a storage unit. And I believe this was once he was already pretty popular on YouTube. Didn't even buy his son, a new console for his birthday or whatever it was. Gave him used consoles from a storage unit that had stickers on it that said used and all this types of stuff. And there was just a lot said in that. It was very heart-wrenching interview. And you could see that he said he was suicidal for many years because of his father issues and how much the divorce impacted him as a child. He said that he remembers his dad showing up irate, crazy, and he remembers hiding in a toy chest from his dad. And he says still to this day, he is terrified of his father. And he said, I need to make this video because my father is wearing a mask online and he is not the man that he presents himself as. He is the exact opposite. He is not a good man. He is not a good father. And all the Jeremy fans basically say that his son is jealous. He's jealous and he's brainwashed by the ex-wife and he's jealous of the dad's money. That's why he did that.
I love when brainwashed people call other people brainwashed, Dave. It's so fun, right? Like, what? You're so close. You can almost see it for yourself.
Very. I watched this video and I cried, guys. And I'm a grown man and I have no problem talking about my emotions. But it brought back a bunch of my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? Watching this kid, 19 years old, trying to be man enough to handle all this and get in front of it and stand up for what he believes in. And he thought he was defending his mom by doing a lot of this because he saw his mom in tears. They have been divorced. This all started in 2014, and they are still dealing with the wrath from this ex-husband, this content creator. There are still people calling the ex-wife, and it's daily drama that they just don't want in their lives. And that's the first thing Jason said in the video is we can't keep going on like this. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad. And it's like how you were saying, I feel the emotion there, like I can relate to the whole absent father, bad father deal. My actual father wasn't necessarily as bad. He was absent, but not as, directly shitty to me. But my stepfather certainly was. So I know kind of like I can feel, I share some of these same feelings that he's expressing about his father here. It's a different aspect altogether though. It's like I can imagine those feelings when it's just my family and I dealing with it, or like my personal close people, that's not very many people. This is him suffering this anxiety and shit with his father in front of thousands of people. It's quite a different, like, to feel those feelings, but now everyone else is also in on your personal life has to be very strange, especially at a young age like he is.
And he's seeing his dad make videos every day talking about, I care about this child, the neighbors, the adopted child, the 4-year-old girl. He sees his dad making all these videos like, I'm doing this because I care for the kid. I'm going to save the child. # save Harley Grace. I'm not doing this for money. I'm doing this.
He does that.
Yeah,
He
'cause everybody-
hashtags the kid's name.
yeah, he has a hashtag save
That's
Harley
so
Grace
fucking
to get
weird,
to get
dude.
the kid took away from the adopted mother.
That's
the
a
bad neighbor.
4-year-old. That's a 4-year-old kid that has
You want to hear
no
something else?
can't
He also
has,
talks
has
about her having problems potty training. She's 4 years old, and he blasts that to his audience of 700,000 that she's 4 years old and is still not potty trained. And I'm like, this child's gonna grow up and she's gonna get made fun of for the rest of her life because of your goddamn videos, guy. Because
Yeah.
she's got health issues and everything. She's 4 years old, and he's exploiting everything he can, anything to make this mother look worse than she is. And he'll talk about her potty training and this and this. And it's like, it's not your place to talk about somebody's parenting, their potty training, their child, any of that. And it upsets me so deeply. And that's what Jason got upset with. He's like, I can't see my father sitting here, save the child. And he's like, why didn't you save me, Dad? Where were you? You left me. You know, I was hiding in the toy box because you were so mean, you know? And that's why I think Jason, in my opinion, had to make the video he made, because he just wanted to speak on it.
In my opinion, you know, we can talk about all this other stuff that makes him seem like a fucking scumbag, but when you get down to this, I mean, like, these are all, most of the people we're talking about here are adults or other, you know, older human beings that, while they don't want to, like this older lady, she doesn't want to be in his stuff, but I feel like as an adult, even if there's something you don't want, sometimes you just got to handle things that happen to you. It's unfortunate. But that kid just there's not old enough to give consent, whether they want to be on there or not old enough to realize like even what is going on. The kid has no idea, but once they get old enough and see this shit, it's like, this guy was talking about my mom this way. This guy was talking about me this way without me having any input or even have done anything. The kid is obviously the most blameless of anyone. Couldn't possibly have put themselves in a situation where this would be a thing that Jeremy should be allowed to do. Like, I hope he gets drug over the coals or whatever that saying is with this whole.
Well, lots of content creators are picking up
shit.
on this. Lots of content creators are picking up on it. And, you know, he thought he was empowered by so long by his fan base. And you guys know what it's like to have a fan base kind of cheering you on. But he should still have that moral compass. If he was a true Christian, he would know what's right and what's wrong, and when to stop, when to say, I've had enough of this, and when to say, hey, I've crossed into that obsession territory. And I would say he crossed into that obsession territory about a year ago. And now it's every day. And then he had the balls to say the other day that he can't go back to storage videos now. He's stuck in these drama videos because the algorithm won't push his storage videos anymore. So he's stuck making these videos. It will take him 6 months to get back to, well, put that time in it. And anybody who knows YouTube algorithm, anybody that knows the YouTube algorithm, you could do it way shorter than that. You could get the YouTube algorithm pushing your videos in about 2 weeks if you really wanted to. Throw some money to YouTube AdSense, have them start pushing your storage videos again. Let YouTube know, like, that would let YouTube know that that's the direction you're trying to go back in, and it would all self-correct. But any excuse he can give, it seems like he's giving it.
For real. I mean, what do you think it's going to take a guy with such a big audience and such a big influence, you know? Is it going to take him getting nailed by a lawsuit or something like this by one of these people he's victimizing for him to stop, for his fans to realize, like, hey, this isn't, like, he's clearly got a lot of influence, hundreds of thousands of people watching his videos still. When are those people going to wake up and be like, oh, what am I getting into here? You know, Jeremy is not the kind of person I think he is.
I think it'll either take his channel being demonetized and YouTube actually stepping up. You know, it's funny. Remember all that stuff that happened with Sniper Wolf not that long ago when she drove past the hater's house and she took the picture and she lost monetization for all that?
She took pictures of Jack's Films house outside of his fucking place.
This content creator is essentially doing that every day, but there's no repercussions. You know, he's threatened me legally with lawsuits. He said he knows where I live. He's done all that. He's done everything short of showing my house on a film, you know. but he's threatened. He knows where we live and this and that, intimidation, all of that. And he does that all the time and gets no. So I think it's going to take YouTube getting involved and demonetizing or really clamping down. Or I do think the law is going to have to make some serious choices on clamping down on this. But then you're dealing with aspects of freedom of speech. This is a very touchy subject in a lot of ways. There has never been a content creator that has utilized his fan base or his platform in such a manner. So it is new territory in a lot of instances, messy territory that a lot of people are shying off. And I think the more people that have been shying off, it's been giving him the Wild Wild West vibe where he feels like he can make his own laws. And I think it's going to take a little bit of law coming in and saying, this is where we stand. And I think, I feel bad for the child. I feel bad for the neighbors. I don't feel so bad for the county officials. I don't feel bad for the mayor. I don't feel bad for the county clerk, except for the fact that she got charged with battery wrongly, in my opinion. For nothing. But I feel bad for these private citizens that are now characters on a YouTube drama show. And they're not even, and if it was about money, they're not getting any royalties. They're not getting paid. They haven't signed a consent form. And there's this big bad, Larry Flint type kind of guy who's collecting all the checks and writing the storylines like he's Vince McMahon and says, well, now let's write this storyline. The next storyline is we're going to make Lynette look like this. We got footage from this. We got her stepdaughter to tell us this. So let's stretch this out in a 3-week episode arc where every day we'll show this, we'll show this, we'll show this. It seems like that's how it's, if you watch the content, you'll see what I mean. And how everything is a promotion to him. Everything is, you won't believe what we found out now. This is what we got. Wait, you're in so much trouble. They're going to be in so much trouble. Dun, dun, dun. It's like the whole showmanship of it. It's just like, stop, please. There's lives being infected here. You can stop this. Go unpack somebody's shit that they gave away, that they couldn't pay for.
Right. Kevin, do you think
YouTube preferred back or Google preferred back?
Right. Do you think that this could be the kind of thing where, because I think Dave said it right, like it is very comparable what he's doing to something like what Sniper Wolf did to Jack's Films. Now, those are two huge YouTubers with millions of followers each. So the audience size and the awareness there, I think, is a little different. Do you think that Jeremy is just at this kind of sweet spot where he's big enough to influence a lot of people and get money to, enact all these things, but still kind of small enough that the YouTube like snowball effect doesn't happen where these people are talking about him, but it's not like it's almost in a section of YouTube in itself that it doesn't break out of that yet. You know what I mean? Just because of like maybe his size there.
Yeah, I think, first of all, I can't understand how this guy can live on Dead Dog Lane and decide to harass this lady and not Logan Paul, who has to be his neighbor on Dead Dog Lane, right? Like, who else would live there? But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, Danny. I think there's just, it's a matter of time. Headbug mentioned something here in the chat because the big commentary people aren't kicking up enough of a stink. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. If it would if Mudahar or somebody did a video tomorrow and it ends up, and then you have that whole trickle down effect, then yeah, I think once there are that number of eyes on it, probably. But yeah, I think you're right, Danny. He's in a spot where he's got enough subscribers. It looks like, based on the number that he has, it looks like that pivot definitely hurt him a little bit, as far as like he's not reaching nearly his entire audience with these videos, but still clearly enough to make money. But as we were talking about this in the pre-show, there are tons of YouTube channels that can get even upwards to 1 million+ subscribers before they ever hit your algorithm.
Yeah.
I've been surprised before. I'm like, oh, this is right up my alley, and it's got 3.9 million. Like, why am I just getting it? I've been on YouTube for how long, and I'm just now seeing this content creator. So it could be just hidden from enough people to force YouTube into doing something about it, because that does seem to be one of the many downfalls to how YouTube has to handle their stuff. Is like they're not going to do anything outside of just have bots handling it or anything outside of the norm unless enough eyes get drawn to it. I just assume that's so that they can continue to get their share of the ad revenue from that account. I can't, because otherwise you would like, no, there's no way a human being is looking at this and saying, oh yeah, this is fine. Like this has to just be whoever is making complaints. It's like getting hit to their automation and they're like, yeah, sorry, no. That's my
a lot
opinion on it.
automated. Yeah.
Well, folks, you've heard it here, not first, because plenty of people have talked about it, but you've heard it here now. Jeremy Hales, a notorious troublemaker online, and I'm sure Dave over on his channel will continue
Concerned
to cover
Planet's
this.
got it right on the head, in my opinion.
For everyone that unsubscribes, he buys 5 more.
I forgot about that because you've called that out before too, haven't you, Dave? Like the
I have
when you
suspicions.
suspiciously go up by like 1,000 subs even or something like that.
Yeah, it's like
where
almost every
oh,
3
wow.
days he gets a magic dump of 1,000 subs.
Weird.
It's weird. It's very weird. Very weird.
Hey, if he wants to, share the love, he can dump 1,000 subs on us if he wants.
and he wonders why the algorithm doesn't do him any favors. Like, well,
Right.
probably all those empty subs you keep shoving into your channel, genius.
True that. True that. Well, Jeremy Hales, what a guy. Dave, it has been so much fun. We're at the 2-hour mark. That's where we usually skedaddle. But man, I want to thank you so much. It's been a great time. I'm glad we finally got to make this happen. How about you do a little self promo here at the end, and then I will read some comments and we will get out of here.
All right, guys. Well, you guys know me. It's me, Supa Dave. And I run my show on YouTube, Milltown's Best. I like to cover YouTubers, guys. I talk about YouTube drama. I talk about all that good YouTube-y goodness and stuff that's going on in my life. It's a very unique channel, adjacent to the commentary community, much like the boys of the Clout route here. And I'm exploring my content creator vibes. And as you can see, as of now, I am at 1,448 subscribers.
Hell
and
yeah.
We're just a newly monetized channel, and we are growing every day. And lately I've been stuck again on this content creator, and I feel it is my duty at this point. I feel it is God's duty, or God has instilled upon me the quest of putting this content creator on blast. So I've been doing that as of late, and it mean a lot to me if you guys check out my channel, Milltown's Best on YouTube, Milltown's Best 1 on X, and become a bestie.
Hell yeah. I think you should become a bestie today. We've got some besties here, okay? Well, some of the Clout Route besties, I guess. It's a little different than a Milltown's bestie, but they could be the same. They could be the same.
I agree.
But let's check out chat. Pest is obviously first in the chat. Thank you, Pest, for showing up. We've got Advent. Damn it, too early. I guess I'll be picking bins while y'all go live. Have a great show.
Advent's awesome.
Tuesday,
So is
Advent.
Pest. Both
Thank you.
besties.
Thank you, Advent. We've got Headbug in the chat. Good day, fellas. Hope all 3 of you and chat have a brilliant Sunday.
Same to
Thank
you,
you.
Headbug.
Thank you, Headbug. Kangalop with the morning. Nice to see you, Kanga. We've got Brenda Booney saying hi to Dave. Hi, Dave.
Well, hello there, Brenda. You got to make sure you say hi to the fellas next time.
Hi. Nice to meet you, Brenda.
Brenda's awesome.
Hell yeah. Well, let's see. Let's keep going here. Harl's asking about Cracker Barrel. What were we talking
You guys see the picture of my dog? You guys see the buffets? Did you guys see the picture of my dog? That's my dog that she's got a picture of.
Yeah, soon to be Dave's kidnapped dog jumping right in that bag for him. Cracker Barrel is not a buffet, though. It's just like redneck Toys R Us with food.
I don't think we got one of those here in Wisconsin.
Oh, you don't know of a Cracker Barrel?
Nowhere near me, at least.
Interesting. Cracker Barrel is like the most it's like biscuits and gravy, like the hillbilliest foods that you can think of. They're all like on highway exits or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And they've got huge gift shops for your grandma.
Yeah, because you have to go pay your bill at the counter, and then you got to wait in a 20-minute line. And in order to try to get you to spend more money, they've just got all these candies and shit and rocking chairs and stuff that just makes absolutely no sense that you'd want to buy after brunch. But I tell you what, I can't believe I forgot. Back in the day, KFC used to have a buffet. I don't know if any of you guys
Get out of here.
Blessed enough. Yeah. Back in my stomping grounds of Southern Indiana, the only way they could get me to church was to say, we're going to KFC buffet after. And I'd be like, hang on, dude, let me get my tie on.
You know,
I haven't had KFC since the bowls became a thing. That's how long it's been since I've had KFC.
Damn.
It's been a while.
Our KFC in my hometown, my small hometown, they hung on to that buffet forever, dude. They held on for dear life with that buffet, and eventually they had to forego the buffet because they adopted a Long John Silver's.
Ooh.
And that X'd out the fucking buffet. So what a bummer, right? Like, who wants Long John Silver's over a KFC buffet? Give me a break.
No one. Long John Silver's is a money laundering front. I'm convinced of it.
I can't. I don't like that's seafood, right? Long John Silver's. They usually have them like attached to Taco Bells around me. It's like a Taco Bell Long John Silver's, and it always messes up the good smell of Taco Bell because you're just smelling all that grease and ugh. Not a fan.
I feel that. Yeah. We got V-Dub in chat.
Nachos and hush puppies.
Yeah, I want to dip some hush puppies in some nacho cheese. Nice to see you, V-Dub.
Yeah, VW's awesome.
Let's keep going here. Poland says the afternoon hangover show. I'm not hungover. Any of you guys?
Me neither.
Good?
I don't drink.
Just high on coffee.
That's about it. I got a lot of caffeine going through me right now.
Andy says, Danny, my roommate says we have the same laugh. Well, God bless you, Andy.
You are known for your laugh, Danny. I've heard a lot of people comment about your laugh. It's awesome.
It's a thing I've dealt with my whole life. Most of the time, it's a very polarizing thing. It's like I've got people that are very pro Danny laugh, and then there's also an equally passionate hate Danny laugh crowd.
Well,
Kevin, where do you fall?
Danny laugh.
Oh, I'm pro. I'm
Okay.
pro Danny laugh.
Could you imagine Kevin's anti-Danny laugh? He's
Yeah.
like, God, I hate you in this show.
I'm like, God, it's the longest 5 hours of my life, dude, every week. Just gotta sit here. That's why all my jokes are so bad. I'm trying to not make Danny laugh.
Yeah, that works. It's the thing about that is I laugh at everything, whether it's funny or not. So you're out of luck.
The Danny cackle.
So yeah, there you go, Andy. Sorry about that. Let's see. Mama Creepy was in here somewhere. Shouts out to Mama Creepy. Concerned Planet. I'm concerned for the planet too, my friend. He says, hey,
Concerned Planet is awesome.
Shouts
Concerned
out.
Planet, and then I heard that I saw what they posted earlier. They said you guys were really funny. So I think you might have got a new subscriber in Concerned Planet.
Oh, well, thank you, Concerned Planet. We appreciate that. We'd love to see you
you.
around. Let's keep going here. We got Fubar. Shouts out to Fubar.
Fubar is awesome.
Yeah, I need to catch up on your lore a bit because this little doggy and your
That's Miyagi.
Donation messages and stuff really cracked me up the other day.
Yep, that's Miyagi-san.
I like that.
For sure. Trying to some levity into the whole situation. Can't always talk about depressing stuff. Got to have a happy little dog giving depressing news or good news.
I like that. So here's Mama Creepy. Shouts out. Thank you for the 10. Dono, Mama Creepy. You are the best. We
And that means a
appreciate
lot
you.
to me. Mama Creepy means a lot to me.
Thank you, Mama Creepy. Let's keep it going here. Who else do we have to shout out? Steffi was in chat. Nice to see you, Steffi. Thank you for stopping by.
Steffi. I haven't seen that name in a long time.
Cindy Grady, thank you for stopping by. Hi, Dave. Just dropped by before getting some sleep. Hoping everyone is doing great. Well, thank you, Cindy. I appreciate that.
Cindy's another awesome, good-hearted soul.
Heck yeah. You got a bunch of those over there, don't you, Dave? It seems like you've gotten a great crowd. Like, even though the stuff you're talking about with Jeremy Hales kind of sucks, he sucks. It seems like you've gotten a great crowd of people like from that, you know, that they they really appreciate you and like the coverage you're doing on all that. So
they're so supportive, and like, you know, the commentary community had made fun of me, you know, for I came out about my ASD diagnosis and all this stuff, and commentary community would make fun of me and, you know, call me retarded and stuff like that, as opposed to this community that I'm building here, extremely supportive. You know, I talk about, you know, I suffer from depression and anxiety, and they can tell when I'm having a bad day. I will, like I said, I wake up now and I got 15, 16 emails and people asking me how I'm doing. Just, I'm here for you. Like, that is what community should be, in my opinion. It shouldn't be everybody trying to get over on one another and rattle people up for content. It should be, you know, in coming together, enjoying a conversation and laughing with one another, much like what we just did here today. There was a sense of camaraderie. We truly fellowshipped with one another, and it was a good time, was it not? I mean, this is how come commentary community can't take a few pages out of this book, and yet they sit here and they'll make fun of my audience and say, yeah, Dave's growing, but he's got an old audience. All of his viewers are skewing so old, and this and that. And it's like, I'm sorry, I got a mature audience that actually cares now, and I'm happy for every single one of them, and they're so welcome in my community or any community that I'm a part of.
Well, you know, the commentary community doesn't miss a chance to say the R word. That's for sure.
So true.
Kevin's adopted redacted for our channel.
Yeah.
No R words, just redacted.
Later.
I like that, redacted. I like
that. Chasing things in chat says, thanks, Team Elements. So shouts out to that Stream Elements, Kevin. Somebody likes it. Thank you, Chasing Things.
Let's go. I also appreciate you, Stream Elements.
He is, however, scared of the mods. V-Dub and Headbug must have been intimidating.
There's a lot of mods in here.
You shoot nice was right, dude. We gotta fix our ratio again.
I had to triple up my moderators, so you might be afraid of my mods because I got a lot of them now. But it's made my place a safe space. My chat is a safe place now.
I mean, our mods don't have to do anything anyway. They just stand behind us and cross their arms like this. You know, it's just like, yeah, we're good.
It is a little bit like that, isn't it? Yeah, we do have a bit of an audience that's like, if you're the kind of person to come in here and start, you know, making a stink, that they're gonna make an example of you. So I do appreciate that. Shouts out to the Clout crew, I'd say. Let's see. We said Concerned Planet. Bruce Matskin says, at Kevin,
that's my lawyer.
Man. Thanks for Pedro. What is this? So what is this?
It hurts, but you're welcome. Pedro Martinez, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, much like Randy Johnson, one of the other greatest pitchers of all time, started their career in Montreal, only to be traded away for what would not end up being an equivalent haul. So that's why they're in DC now. So
you guys should have Bruce on your show. He is a 27-year attorney. He is currently representing. Yeah, he's currently representing the neighbors I was talking about in their lawsuits against Jeremy Hales, and he's an awesome guy, and he talks sports and everything. You should definitely have him on and give him a chance to help you understand the story, because you'd be hearing it right from the attorney's mouth. And he's a bar certified lawyer, practicing in 2 states right now, and really good guy. I've had him on my channel. He's been on tons of other channels. You should have him on.
Very interesting. You kind of reminded me, I do usually ask every guest we have who they would recommend, you know, coming on the show and hanging out with us. The last time I did that, it worked out really well for us. Assistant Sailor had recommended Leia something to come on the show. So then I asked her in the DMs if she'd come on the show, and she said, no, thanks, I'm not interested. And then I got blocked.
Are you serious? She did you like that?
Yeah, I'm unblocked now, thankfully. But yeah, that's how the sequence of events
Leah.
went.
Leah says she hates me, but she really loves me.
That is a
That's
hard
true.
pass, huh, Danny?
She said she hates me, but she loves me.
I mean, yeah, they're all the haters are just lovers that haven't came around yet, right, Dave?
Amen. Can I get an amen?
Hallelujah.
Amen, brother. So we got Sleek the Geek in chat. He's been keeping up.
Sleek's awesome.
Nice to see you, Sleek. Let's see. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Stream Elements is in there somewhere. You know him. He's a pretty cool guy.
Only took me half a year.
John German says, "What up, Supa Dave?"
That is another gentleman you should have on your stream. This man is a buyer and seller of storage units, and he got conned out of buying $12,000 storage unit, and it was all a staged unit, and it was like it looked like he thought he was buying a gold unit, and he thought it had sports cards and all this crazy stuff in it, and it was a junk unit. And then there's all types of crazy side spins, and it connects with Jeremy. You know, there's a Jeremy connection in there somehow, and it's a crazy story. You might want to have a conversation with John too. Very, very interesting story.
Hell yeah! Well,
It's on my channel.
I'm glad to see all these guys coming over, and I mean, like I said, Dave, you've got quite the crowd that loves to support you. It's cool to see them come over and shout you out and give us a little watch. So we appreciate that for sure.
For sure.
Harles Barkley, dog snatcher.
No, dog wanter, and your dog wants to come with me. She told me. She said, "David, I want to come visit." Who am I to tell the dog no?
Right. You got to give the people what they want, or in this case, the animal what they want.
Yeah. I'm the husky whisperer. I can't help it.
Oh, goodness gracious. We got Kia Cat in chat. Nice to see you, Kia. Thank you for stopping by. Kia Cat, it's so crazy, she says. Jeremy Hales.
Yeah, the whole story is
ass.
Kia is awesome too. Talk
Kia's
about
another
so
good
supportive.
Shouts out to Kia. We appreciate Kia. I said Advent, Fubar on the back end. Teaching Turtles is here, catching the end. Nice to see you, Teaching Turtles. And then MaggotEdits.
Maggot.
I'm late, but I made it. Nice to see you, Maggot.
And we got Patrick J
awesome.
in here as
there we
well.
go.
Yeah.
Van
Patrick
Life
is an
and
awesome
RV
fellow.
folks. I use Cracker Barrel as a sleeping spot. I like that. That's a good idea.
You know, the Walmart and Cracker Barrel. I guess.
I was just about to say that, Dave. It was like a lot of Walmarts are right, or a lot of Cracker Barrels are just outside a Walmart parking lot. So that tracks.
All righty, folks. Well, again, we appreciate you all for stopping by, hanging out in chat, visiting with Dave while we all caught up. So thank you so much for tuning in this Clout Route morning show, and we will catch you on Tuesday, 6 p.m. evening show. Okay, not as lighthearted as this one, I can imagine. We're gonna have Dalton Pruitt on, and you know how he likes to talk about titty twisters and whatever else.
Jet balls.
So we'll talk to Dalton on Tuesday. Little different vibe, but still just as fun. So we encourage you to come over there and see us there. But until then, we will catch you on the other side. Thanks again, Dave.
My
We
pleasure, gentlemen.
appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
Later, peeps. Peace.
Bye now.
Peace. Peace.